What's going on? Nicks and Bruises back in the building. The Queen will be with us shortly. First off, shout out to the chat as always. I do want to say anybody who was part of that 25% that did not want to bring Mitch back, that wanted to dump him, it's your opportunity to jump on for a few minutes and give me your reasons as to why. Um, but I want to talk about some point guard options other than Jalen Brunson. We had mentioned the last stream that Dallas did not want to partake in a sign and trade, and that basically, if somebody wants to sign him, they're gonna have to have the cap space to do it. And for the Knicks to be in that realm, they're gonna have to make some salary arrangements and salary dumps to do it. We talked about how they could do it, but I want to talk about some other options. So if you guys have any options in the chat, Geraldine salute, Angel salute. Um, yeah, give me your options. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Colin Sexton. Get your thoughts on him. Ricky Rubio. Get your thoughts on him as well. Excuse my birds. You know, my daughter's home and they haven't seen her in a while, so they're excited. But yeah, interested in your thoughts on that. I guess I'll start with Colin Sexton. 25 points per game, not this past season, but a year ago. Obviously missed this entire season coming back from an injury, but not a player who was highly relying upon his athleticism. Maybe his speed he did. So that'll be interesting. And if he could come back to form, I don't know if he could, but if he could, I think he would have been a great option. I wanted us to trade for him a year ago before the injury when Cleveland was looking at suitors. And then Rubio, I really like Rubio. Always liked him. Defensive minded guard, facilitator. All the problems that we had this year about settling down the offense, kind of controlling the pace. I think he would have fixed that for us uh, immediately. I don't think we have those late game collapses. But again, he's a point guard that's coming off an injury as well. So, what are your thoughts on that? Do you take the risk of a point guard coming off of injuries, especially seeing what we went through with Kemba Walker this past year? I'm sure when the Queen gets on, she'll be one of those that doesn't want to go that route. But maybe it changes. Maybe they're young enough, or at least Sexton's young enough to where she would think different. Interested in her thoughts on that. Think is there any other point guards out there that I would be interested in? Realistic, DeJounte Murray, I would love him. It looks like he wants to stay in San Antonio. It looks like he wants to recruit Zach LaVine. If anybody didn't see those tweets. Um so yeah, I don't think he's gonna move. But SGA, on the other hand, hasn't really come out and said anything about him wanting to remain on OKC. So he's clean. Thank you, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you good.
Okay, good.
I was just talking about SGA. I kind of gave a quick little talk about Sexton and Ricky Rubio. I'll go back to them in a second. But I did talk about DeJounte Murray. I know that's your guy. You really want us to pursue him. But I was saying I don't know how realistic he is as a target simply because it seems as though he wants to be in San Antonio. He likes his situation there. Um, Recently, I don't know if he put the tweet out or if he just liked it. I believe he put it out though. A tweet with Zach Levine in a Spurs uniform with the eye emojis. So it looks as though he's recruiting for San
Hmm.
Antonio. Um, so I don't know if he's a realistic option moving forward, but I would love to have him.
Right,
So
right.
then I moved on to SGA, where again I think OKC would be willing to at least listen to offers. He hasn't shown any loyalty or wanting to stay as far as would build with that organization. I think they value draft picks. As we as we could tell over the course of all the moves they've made. So I do think SGA is a viable target. And then excuse me, the topic was, targets other than Brunson, knowing that we have to go through some obstacles to make the space for him, and Mavs don't want to help with a trade or take part in a signing trade. So your thoughts on SGA, and then I'll jump back to those other two guys.
Okay, I just want to make sure you hear me because my mic is
Um
not working.
no, I hear you.
You hear me
You going
clear?
right off the computer?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I hear you.
something's going on with my mic.
You
Um,
know,
I like SGA. He's a combo guard. He can play one or the two. He has good size. He has the defensive tools, even if his defense is not great right now. Um, he can definitely score, rebound well. He has good vision as well. Um, I don't know. You ever have a guy that when you watch them play, there's nothing wrong with them. They're actually good. When you look at their stats, they're good, but they just don't excite you. That's how it is for me with SGA. There's nothing negative I could say about him. Like I said, he has good size, but when I watch him play, I don't feel as excited as when I watch Murray, for example. And it doesn't mean he could be better than Murray, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't get my juices going. But if we can get SGA here with that size, playing in the backcourt with I mean, to me, I think RJ is a three at this point. He's like 6'7". I see him more like a three than a two in the backcourt with a Grimes or a Reddish or whoever. Well, actually, if we play Reddish, we probably would have to move RJ to the two, right? Um, that would give us great size. And one thing about the Knicks, and the chat has been pointing this out, we're not very long on the wings, So to have that type of size up front, I think that's good. Oh, I can't hear you.
excuse me. I really like SGA. For some reason, I felt the opposite. Like the way you felt about him is how I felt about Murray. But I
Mm-hmm,
didn't watch Murray enough to be honest. Like the more I watch him, the more I see. Um, but SGA really from his time with the Clippers, where they kind of overachieved
mm-hmm,
and he kind of made a name for himself organically,
mm-hmm,
and to the point where he was valued enough to be included or the main piece in a trade for, excuse me, that was the Paul George trade, correct?
mm-hmm,
So of Paul George's caliber, you make yourself that much of an asset to be the focal point of a trade. um Impressed me. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously the play impressed me, but even the fact that he made himself that valuable, to another organization, it opened my eyes and said, hey, you know what? Not only do I see it, but OKC obviously sees it as well. But that being said, moving him from them, I don't think is that big of an obstacle. A lot of people say, they're not moving him, but there is a lack of direction with that team, to where I don't think moving him is that big of a setback, if you will.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they can look at it as continuing their path. So I do think there is he's a viable person that we could pursue, and it's not out of the realm of possibility. Moving backwards, I said Colin Sexton. and Ricky Rubio. And of course, I had to reference you and
Mm-hmm.
saying, I'm not sure how you're gonna feel about it
Mm-hmm.
because of their injury history or coming off of the injuries, knowing how you felt about Kimba. Rubio's a little bit older than Sexton, obviously. I don't think he's as old as Kimba, but I could be mistaken.
I'm not sure.
Um, but my cases for those two guys, I wanted Sexton prior to the injury, back 2 years ago. 25 points per game, held his own. Granted, some people said meaningless stats at the time. People will point to the team's success without him. But my retort to that would be it's a different team anyway. You know what I mean? Like he
Mm-hmm.
didn't get to play with that team. You know what I mean? So it's a different team without him, but it's also a different team had he been available. There would have been the first time he got to play with all these guys. So that changed things as well. But the guy is feisty and fiery. Again, made a mark for himself. You can't take away 25 points, and I wouldn't expect that from him.
Right.
But I do have concerns about seeing him play before bringing him back. I mean, before signing him. But maybe we get him cheaper
Right.
than what he would have been had he not been injured. And then Rubio, I don't think the injury is that serious. Obviously, he's not a player that relies off athleticism, speed, or anything that would have affected him from an injury like that. But what he is good at, basketball IQ A1,
Mm-hmm.
defense,
Mm-hmm.
probably B plus, facilitating A1.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's all things that we could use. I look at him like I won't say his name, I'll say EP, but with better offense, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean, better IQ, and even his jump shot has improved as which was the knock on him. Um, So thoughts on those two guys as I scroll through the chat. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you guys joining in. I see faults. And you know what? I'm gonna get into the whole Orlando Magic. They probably have a few guys on there that we could look at and probably
Mm-hmm.
negotiate something for. But your thoughts on those two guys,
I mean,
injuries concerning or not.
but yeah, I mean, my concern with injuries is more the client who is, I mean, the player who is just historically injured, chronically um, injured. But like a one-time injury wouldn't shut me off. It wouldn't. Um, I think these guys would have to get medicals before trade would go through anyway, to make sure that they're up to speed, and healed enough, at this point. So I wouldn't be too concerned about Collins' injuries one time. Okay, Sexton, just one time. Um, the thing with him is that he's ball dominant.
Hmm.
That's the thing with him. We got RJ who wants to handle the ball a lot. We got Randall who wants to handle the ball a lot. But not just that, he doesn't come across to me as somebody who can run. I shouldn't say can run a team, but like somebody who, when you look at him, you be like, yo, this guy is running this team. This guy's setting everybody up. This guy's getting everybody in their place. This guy's getting everybody their shots. At certain points in the game, he changes his game depending on the situation. He doesn't come across to me as that type of point guard at this point in his career. As far as scoring, he can do that.
What
You
about
know,
read and react? Do you
what do you
think,
mean?
do, or basketball IQ offensively?
I think
Um,
it's. I think the knock on him has been that sometimes he can be tunnel vision when he can get into the key with the best of them. And in terms of his ability to score, his ability to get into the key, his ability to um, to finish at the rim, his 3-point shooting, all of that is good. And if he was playing off ball, that would be great.
mhm.
you know, but he's playing the point. So, sometimes when he gets in the key, he has tunnel vision, as opposed to looking for, who his options are. Um, we're a better offensive team, but if you keep it Randall and you're keeping RJ, I think you need some. I don't know if you need that much scoring. I mean, we do need scoring. Don't get me wrong, and we do need that threat at the point guard position. But we also need somebody that's going to be able to run that offense down the stretch. You know, so I'm not opposed. In the beginning, I was because I was looking for a playmaker and a leader at that position. I still am, but I would be okay if they brought him in. And I love Rubio. I love Rubio. I see him more as a backup at this point. Um, or if he does start, like a stopgap, just a
Hmm.
stopgap point guard. Yeah.
All right. Um, any point guards out there? Obviously, um, your guy in San Antonio. Um,
Jonte Murray, who I like
I,
more than I like Brunson.
and
Um,
here, all right. I'm gonna let you talk about him,
mhm.
but my question was, or my thoughts was, like I said, I think he's the hardest guy to get.
He
I,
is. I
I I
think so
don't I
too.
don't know if it's even in the realm of a possibility, but I'm gonna use one of your quotes and I'm gonna say state your case, but on how we could get him, if so, or what, how far are you willing to go into the treasure chest of assets to acquire him?
The only one I wouldn't trade for him was RJ. Everything else for me is on the table.
And how much this? Do you know how much he makes?
He doesn't make a lot. I want to say 18.
So all
Yeah.
right. So that being said, forget the players. How many picks are you including to acquire him? What's your maximum
You know
combination?
what? I
Whether
don't
you
know
want
if
to
I'm
say
the.
two and two,
Yeah. He
two and
signed a
one
he signed a 4 year 64,000, so it's 16,000 a year.
million.
A million, right? 4 years, 64 million. And the average salary is 16 million, and I think he signed this year and next year, so he has 2 more years left on his contract. I don't know if I'm the best person to ask about draft picks because I'm not one of those that
That
think
value them more as much
more
as
than than
some of
than,
these
than
other guys.
players.
No,
Yeah,
I
I
hear
just
I hear you on that. Um, so basically, do you think two and two is too much or no?
nope.
What if they want three first?
Three first and no players.
Well, I mean, whatever the salary is, what I mean. They not.
So okay, so we got to match the salaries and three first. I would give two first. I would, and there's some people out there who would give just one,
Mm.
but I just value what he
I
brings.
mean,
I would be
I,
willing to.
I'm with you in that aspect for the simple fact that when you don't want to build backwards, you know what I
Right,
mean. You don't want to say, all right, here's our core. Next year we got two picks. We're gonna get two more cores, and
right,
then the following year we got one pick. We're gonna add to the core. Like
right,
a lot of these guys aren't gonna be. A lot of these picks are literally someone else's pick right now. I mean, not right now, but
right,
that's where they're gonna end up. We're not gonna use all these picks
right,
building forward. So, I'm inclined to include a pick, whether it's to move up to get
right,
the guy you want, whether
right.
it's to, what I mean, included to move a player that you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm gonna let my first guest in the building, Marvin.
Okay.
Hold on one
So while
second.
he's doing that, can I try to fix my mic?
Absolutely,
Let
absolutely,
me try to fix my mic.
Marvin. Appreciate you joining. Um,
Wow, guys.
are you here? Are you here because you're part of the 25%?
I'm sorry.
I
What's
said,
that?
are you here because you're part of the 25% that want to dump Mitchell Robinson, or you just joining in to talk about this point guard situation?
Well, now you know how I am. You know how the Bulls they truly are. Well, first of all, salute to the chat, salute to the panel. You know how I am. You know the Bulls are after Mitchell. You know that already. Tell me why you gonna play like that, man?
So are you gonna be a biased Bulls fan and say, yeah, dump him so we can snatch him up, or or are you saying the Knicks should keep him because if you don't, he gonna be valuable to somebody else?
Well, I start by saying this. I really think Mitchell's gonna be valuable. I really do. I don't know how much you guys think about that, but I do. I think he can really fit on a team and be a nice contributing factor. Now, as far as you guys, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on in New York. I mean, how's the talks up there with it?
Sim just did a show and he had it in the chat, and 75% said keep him, 25% said dump him. I'm one of the 75%. I want us to pay him. I think he's worth the investment. Um, so obviously it's split a little bit, about
Yeah.
75-25. But I'm with signing him. I
Well,
think he has defensive player of the year potential.
yeah.
Um, he
And
does have some offensive limitations, and my only concern though is the free throw shooting. It's not necessarily um his lack of a jump shot or hook shot or post moves, etc. I think that will
well,
come in time.
and I honestly believe that free throw shooting can be worked on. Um, I mean, just about all of his things that he's not very, very good at right now, I think can be worked on. That's why I believe if you guys give up on him and let him go, I don't think it's the right thing to do because it might not seem like a lot of teams want him now because he's still on you guys' team. But when he hit that market, they're gonna be fighting over him like left and right. Question though, do you believe that you can develop him into being a solid scoring center for the Knicks, or do you think you need to bring somebody else in and play him at the four? See, the
Wait,
reason I'm
wait. You say play Mitch at the four?
the reason I'm saying this is this. I wouldn't necessarily say, excuse me for that. I don't mean at a four. The reason I'm saying that is this. The Bulls are trying to get him to play him at center alongside of Booch, who's a scoring four. Now, he would be perfect on the Bulls. I'm just telling you guys that now. He would be perfect. And the Bulls are courting him. I'm telling you that right now. So get ready for a battle on signing him. But I'm only thing that I'm thinking is this. Are you guys looking for a scoring center, more of a scoring center to go alongside of him, or are you going to try to develop him into your low post scorer of the future? Question.
Me personally, I want a scoring center alongside of him. I want Mitch to continue developing what he's good at and some things great at, and,
Mm-hmm.
and and keep getting better in those aspects.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not saying don't work on a hook shot, don't work on a jump shot, but I'm not stressed for it to come immediately, or what I mean, people will say, hey, he's had 4 years already, so it's not coming. I feel like he can have a successful career based off of what he's great at or already, and just kind of staying in that realm. But I would want somebody on this team at that position that does other things, stretches the floor a bit, and I value Mitch for who he is and what he does more than um wanting to mold him into this all around
Yeah.
offensive
And,
threat.
and that's what I was getting at because I really think he would benefit from a scoring center beside him by learning right there, still doing the same things that he do, and still developing his offensive side of that. Now, question: what kind of money is he asking for? Had he turned you guys down or what?
I haven't heard anything definitively, but I've heard we've offered something. He declined that. I've heard the two of them, the two sides are far apart. That's the big quote that's been out there. They're far apart, but nobody knows what that means.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. So I really don't know. I know the max the Knicks could extend him at
Hmm.
is 4 years, 55, I believe, which I think that shouldn't even be a question. I do it. Um, Obviously, if we don't extend him, then unrestricted, he can he can get offers higher than that.
Yeah. Now,
And then we do have his bird rights. We established that, so we can't go over the cap to sign him. Um, if we don't extend him,
well, like I said, it's going to be plenty of teams out hunting for him. I'm telling you guys that now. I mean, pretty sure you guys know that. I mean, Dallas wants him, Chicago wants him, and that's just the name of few. And
Detroit.
Detroit. Well, I'm just going to let you know, the Bulls going to shoot high for him. We're going to. I'm telling you, I'm just giving you a heads up right now. They're going to shoot high for him. So, in you guys' eyes, do you think you're going to match each and every thing that these other teams throw at him? I'm going to throw this Queen, salute Queen, coming think
He,
of it.
how are you? Well, he's unrestricted, so we don't even have the option to match.
Unless he
Well,
allows us to.
right,
Unless he allows us
Right,
to. Unless he
right. If
comes
he
back
wants
and
to go in the
yeah,
says,
right,
yeah.
"Hey, this
All
team
right,
offered this
all right.
team
right.
offered that."
Now
Okay, so
Chicago has money in free agency.
yes, ma'am. We go, yeah. Well, here's the deal. It's kind of up in the air about Zach, and Zach to me is a player that I always said we should keep. Now he had situations with his knee this year,
Hmm.
and he said he was definitely committed to us during the year. Well, as soon as the
Hmm.
year ended, he said he wants to explore free
Hmm.
agency, which is what he should do. I
Hmm.
mean, I try to explain to guys all the time. It's a business first, and if you become an unrestricted free agent, you should explore. Now, the Bulls do. The Bulls haven't offered him anything just yet, but I do believe the Bulls are going to offer him a nice little clip. But here's the deal with us.
They're not going to show. They're not going to max him.
Yeah, that's what I
Yes,
was gonna
yes,
say.
yes, yes. They're
Okay.
not going to supermax, not supermax. He's not going to qualify for the super,
Right,
but
right, right.
it would be a max offer. Now, what size max offer? That's different because we're looking to add.
But
Now
there's
we
only
have
one max offer though.
no. You can
Unless you
go
talk about years.
yeah, years. I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. But what I'm saying is this: we're looking to add. So what we want him to do, I mean, I'm not in the front office, but I got pretty good ties with him from my brother back home. We're trying to get Zach to understand that we're trying to build this team around him. And he has been dedicated to the Bulls, even in our real, real down years. So he stayed, he put in his dues, and he actually played through a lot of injuries this year, which a lot of players tend not to do. But then again, if you're in a contract year, most players will. You guys know that. So in that case, the Bulls I mean, everybody's thinking, okay, get rid of Boots, get rid of DeMar, get rid of this, get rid of that. Well, the plan was, like I explained to them when we got knocked out in the first round. I wasn't so upset about that. This was a learning curve. We were in a 3-year rebuild, or not necessarily rebuild, but trial based area plan. So we're looking for not this year. I mean, I would say partially next year, but actually the following. And then with Alonzo Ball going down, that really hurt us. I mean, a lot of people don't realize how bad that hurt us, but I mean, you guys can testify to that. Losing a point guard it can be detrimental to a team. It really can. So I'm thinking that I mean I'm just speculating because I don't know anything in concrete. Uh, if we can kind of get Zach to come on board and do what he needs to do, and then we get Mitchell Robinson.
But when you say get what you need to, but this is what I mean. When you say do what he needs to do, listen, if you building around him, he's a max guy.
Yeah,
So it's
I
you
know.
if you pay him now, you can go over if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes,
You
and we are,
convince
and we are.
you could convince him
Yes,
to wait,
Wait.
let us sign Mitch
Yes.
yes.
before we give you the
There you
max.
go.
You know what
Well,
I mean?
but see, but with his comments, it's kind of hard to believe he's going to do that, guys. I mean,
I mean,
But the max is the max. Why wouldn't he wait?
and what I'm thinking from his comments, honestly, I think his comments is I'm gonna shop around. So no matter what, I'm gonna look here. I'm
yeah,
gonna look here.
that's
I'm
what I
gonna look
mean to you.
here.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that whatever Chicago's offer is, which to me, they're obligated right now to give him the full max, 5 year, whatever the full max is, and that's
Yeah.
and that's
And they
it.
know that.
There's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
no
And they know, right,
negotiation.
right.
So
Because
that's
he,
going to be on the table regardless of what these other teams say. And these other teams aren't going to be able to give him the 5th year. So it's really a
Right.
matter of, you know, just seeing what's out there. But the
Yeah.
Bulls offer is going to be on the table regardless.
right.
It's just a matter of do you want is that really where you want to be?
Or
Well,
if the Bulls try to come in less, I think that that's not a hand the Bulls would want to
Yes.
play
no, and
at
they not.
this
They're
point,
not.
to come in less than the max.
No, and they're
Like
not. They're not. I
okay,
mean, they have already stated that they are truly committed to Zach. So I know they're gonna. I
okay.
believe they're gonna come all the way in with it.
So then I don't think it's to convince him just to wait until we sign other free agents and then we sign you afterwards. I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
see why
think
that's a
and I think honestly the smarter move is to improve while he's over there looking
That's right.
around. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
and,
Like
and, and
and
like
that's what they're
then
gonna do. Yeah, and that's what they're gonna try to do. So,
right.
and we all can. I guess we all were upset about this year. I mean, in my case, we all want to win, and you guys know that. And in my case, like I said, from the very start, I knew the Bulls were not championship ready, but I needed to see progress, and I seen that. Now, second half of the season wasn't as good as the first, but we did have a lot of injuries, guys. We had quite a few
We
injuries.
got it. We got it. But I want to
and,
stick with Mitch. I want
and,
to ask you
Okay,
and,
all right, okay, all
that's
right.
exactly
No
where I was
problem.
going. I was
yeah,
going.
yeah.
I was like, this is about to be bulls and bruises, bro.
Okay, no more Bulls. But Mitch, I'll say this. Uh, I really think you guys should whatever you ask for. Not necessarily whatever you ask for,
But
but just
it's
to
a
be
different. I can see. So for me, when I'm thinking about signing Mitch or any play, it's about what does he do it for us where we are in our development. So
yeah,
I can see where the Bulls are. They got DeMar, they got
yeah.
Lonzo, they got Zach Levine, they got Vucevic, you
Hmm.
know, who can play outside and hit the three. So
Yeah,
I can see how they saying, wow, Mitchell for our team, we don't need him to score.
that's right.
We got Vucevic. We got enough scoring on this team. I can see why for them that's a great fit.
Yes.
Now for us, I'm not saying it's not a great fit. I'm just saying it just brings up other questions like,
Yeah,
we
and
don't
that's what
have
me
a
and
scoring center on this
that's
roster. If
right.
we
That's
did, it
right.
would make it a little easy. It's just
Mhm.
different. It just brings up different questions. That's
That's
all
what
I'm
me and
saying.
Tony was
I don't
just
want to
talking
upset
about.
my partner. So I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
gonna
what
say
me.
it just brings up different questions.
Yes, man. And that's what me and Tony was just discussing.
Yeah,
If
he
you're going to
asked
keep
me.
Mitch, are you going to put somebody beside him? That's what me and Tony was just
Right,
talking.
Yeah,
right,
that's
right.
exact. But Marvin, appreciate you jumping on and see
Hey,
if
man.
anybody else got some
Appreciate you.
comments on this this segment. But yeah, appreciate you jumping in, and
No problem.
yeah, we'll link up again. We'll link up
All
again.
right, yeah, because I was heading out. I just wanted to stop in and give a salute, man. Hey, I always
Appreciate you.
appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Likewise, Queen.
Mhm.
That was getting a little boozy, but I feel him. I feel him. He's letting us know that if we don't snatch him up, the Bulls will be
Right.
one
And
of those guys
especially
in
these
pursuit.
teams that have the offense,
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
Bulls do.
yep.
Like
Um,
the Bulls do.
I kind of lost where I was. Um,
And
oh,
they have
I
cap
think I was asking if you had any other point guards other than Murray
I like
that
I like Fultz. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Out of
Markel.
Orlando, Mikel. I like his size. Um, when we played him that last game, his shot seemed like it's coming around, but he's still somebody that needs developing.
Hmm.
And we have guards that need developing still. But I think his upside at that point guard position might be higher than Quickly's, might be
Mm,
higher than McBride's. You know, remember he was the number one draft pick, and not just they picked him number one. He was a number one prospect coming
projected, yeah.
into projected, coming into the draft. So um,
You think he's the most likely guy from their trio?
you know what? They might. they might want to keep him and cut ties with Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony is more dynamic, but his efficiency is
Lower
just
ceiling too.
not there. You know,
Lower ceiling. I mean, excuse me, lower floor. Lower floor.
lower floor. He has a high ceiling if he reaches it,
Yeah, high
but
ceiling, lower
he's
floor.
one of them low floor. Exactly, exactly. So they have a good problem on their hands over there.
So you think the asking price would be less for Cole? Because as we've seen, a team could say, "Hey, I'm shopping this guy. I'm shopping this guy. I'm shopping this guy," and then all of a sudden, De'Aaron Fox is still on the team, and Halliburton is the one that
Right, right,
gets
right,
moved.
right,
You know what I mean? So
right, right.
you never really know.
I don't know if would you. I don't know if I would want Cole Anthony on this. Or I mean, one thing I like about him is his toughness, his heart, his confidence. That's New York all the way. Um, he's not afraid to take the big shot, whether he hits it or not. Like the fans and what have like that's not gonna. I don't think that's gonna mess with him. Not one bit. Not one bit. When like Randall said, I'm built for this. I was like, I don't know. I think Cole Anthony is built for this.
That's valuable,
It is
especially
valuable, but
here. It's probably more valuable here than
yeah, yeah,
anywhere.
yeah. But Cole Anthony, I just think he's so inefficient. I
Mm-hmm.
think he shot 39%. He jacks up shots. Um, his vision is okay. His vision is adequate, actually, but I don't know.
Do you think he could? See, what I like about Cole, the thought of Cole. Honestly, if we're getting Cole, I want to keep D Rose because
Oh, you're gonna need to.
I think D Rose is a great mentor for him in a lot of different areas that I think D Rose could kind of teach him how to slow the game down for him. And I don't mean that in the sense of like how it naturally happens as you get older. I teach him how to slow down is what I'm saying. Kind of control his pace.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of Cole Anthony's issues, and when he figures that out, it's gonna be a problem. Another guy that I think he kind of reminds me of in the sense of if he wants a long career is oh man, the D Rose High School guard. He played on Houston. I think he might still Gordon on
Oh,
Houston
okay.
on Houston kind of
Mm-hmm.
gives me those kind of vibes of if he could settle down and settle in.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Um but yeah, I think so if the cost is cheaper, if it's 2 picks for Fultz but one for Cole, are you go which route would you go?
Both of them are such unknowns, though. I don't know if I would even give up
T-
two number ones for folks.
mm.
And I don't mind giving up number one picks. I have no problems doing it. But he's such an unknown now. You would be going mostly off of potential
On both of them.
on both of them. But I think you've seen more of Cole Anthony in the NBA than you have of folks, right?
I think you seem more dynamicism, if that's a word.
Right. But how
Um,
many games has Fultz played? Seemed like he's been
I,
injured forever.
I'm yeah, but I'm sure he has more games played than Cole overall. I mean,
You think
interesting.
so?
I think so. It may be close, but I think so.
Mhm.
I mean, Cole only played what two? This is second year. This past year, he's going into the third year,
I believe so. I'm going to tell you right now.
and Fultz is on a
Um,
second contract. Correct.
oh wow, he's played five 5 years in the NBA.
Fultz.
Wow, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But look at the games played. First year 14, second year 19, third year 72, fourth year 8, this year 18. I
Mm.
mean,
One full year, basically.
and the other ones was less than 20.
Less than 20. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That is
He's played
in,
131
in that sense, I don't know
NBA
how I
games.
said 2 picks, But I agree.
Mhm.
I think you might be able to get him for 2 seconds, and maybe a young player of value to them.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
oh man, that kind of takes him off my thought processing board,
yeah.
because you don't you really don't know what you're getting. You talk about a
Oh, Anthony's played 112 games,
so a little bit
and he's played
less.
131
Yeah, a little bit
in
less.
5
Yeah, in 5
years.
years, a little bit less. I mean,
Wow.
I guess he comes down to asking price. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you talk about 2 seconds and something,
But this is the thing, and we've talked about this. It depends on what the Knicks are trying to do because it's going to take some time. If you're talking about him starting at the point guard position, I don't know if he's ready for that, depending on what the Knicks are trying to do next season.
yes, that is true too.
You
That is
know,
true too.
but if the Knicks are looking to just develop,
I'd be
I would
much
still develop him over
and
and IQ and just see where it
that
goes.
being said, I'd be much more inclined to go the Anthony route and see
Mhm,
what he becomes than you know what I mean, folks. Where I don't know if you want to put, like you said, put him to start immediately, it's taking your time with him and things
mhm.
of that nature. Where Cole is like, all right, here you go, be who you're gonna become. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna live with it, whichever way it is. Hope it's the higher end.
But I agree with JJ. I don't know about, I wouldn't say no to Cole, but last thing we need is another 38% shooter we got. And we got a lot of these 38 to 41% shooters on this team. Like we need some efficient shooters. Now, I don't
Yeah,
even know if folks is that yet either.
he's just a talent though.
Right.
That's the thing. He's a talent. Rebound, pass,
Mhm.
score. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. He got a bigger upside. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
Anthony might be a scoring champ one day, or in that conversation
Right.
where you know what I mean. Like folks, I mean, as far fetched as it sounds, he's closer to MVP potential than
Then Cole Anthony.
just a scoring champ.
Yeah, he
Um,
has to get his efficiency together. Cole Anthony.
and Green is the other guy over there. I doubt.
Suggs.
Oh, Suggs. Excuse me,
Yeah.
Suggs. I
Mhm.
doubt he's anywhere in the vicinity of you know them trying to move on from him. But you never know. You never know. That might cost a two first and a player
Mhm.
of their choice. Um, and I haven't seen enough from him. I think he is a dynamic talent. But I do think the Knicks need to be aggressive. That's if there's one thing about this front office that we haven't seen yet,
Right.
is some aggressive. We've seen passive aggressive. You know what I mean? We see. No, I mean I mean that in a good way though. I mean that
Mhm.
in the we might not have seen the vision and what they were
Mhm.
doing,
Mhm.
and then over time or whatever after the full draft night and consumption of it, we like, oh, that was some savvy stuff they did, but just all out, all right, I want this guy. This is the target. What does it take to get there? Um,
Mhm.
I wouldn't mind that moving forward.
Mhm.
I'm gonna kind of transition a little bit into some draft talk. How
Yeah,
much
I'm gonna
time
have
we
to
got?
leave in a little. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
see. I was
7:40.
just checking. 10 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Um, and I'm going in detail Wednesday.
Mhm.
Some point guard prospects from this coming draft. So chat, if you have any ideas, send them in the chat. But I got 3 guys I'm targeting. What are your thoughts about this draft so far? I don't know how much you done your deep dive, but we got to jump on it. We
Yeah,
got
I
to
have
start digging.
doing it. I haven't done a deep dive yet, other than the top 4 projected players. Um, I'm a bit familiar with. So I haven't done a deep dive. I mean, the Knicks are probably, they have the 11th best. They probably will be in an 11. They have the most probability, 2% probability of getting a 1 pick. Um, I will say this, and we'll talk about this more on the Queen's Court. If the Knicks got the number 1 pick, I'm going for Jabari. and Randall and Obi have to work it out. I mean, I don't know if they would trade Randall because of that. But I think Obi's minutes.
I mean, at that point, that's a great discussion. I hope I'm glad we're gonna get into that. But at that point, I think you kind of just see who you can get the best package for. You know what I mean? Like it's not, oh, I'm choosing Randall, or oh, I'm choosing Obi. You let the field make that decision for you. You let the offers, you know what I mean, make that decision for you.
But I think the Knicks would have to at least. I don't know if the Knicks is gonna. You think they would put it? I think they would make a decision. Like, listen, we sticking with Randall. This pick is up for grabs. What are you giving me for it? Or we've decided we're gonna go with Jabari Smith. Randall and Obi is on the trading about what we're gonna get from it. I don't think they just gonna put all three of them out there and
no. I think they rock with the draft pick.
Oh, I see.
And then you let the field decide if I'm moving on from Randall or if I'm moving on from Obi. You let the offers decide that.
I see. I got you. I got you. What I mean? Yes.
Real quick though, I don't know how much we're gonna get into it on Queens Court, but I don't know. If we got the number one pick, I might get home grid.
He just gives me Porzingis vibes. With just his the
build.
possible
I get
with
it.
his build. But I mean,
get it.
Yeah.
Trust me, I get it. Man.
You get a power forward like that can shoot the ball from three the way he can, who can defend out on the perimeter the way he can. That's hard to pass up. I think there's less question marks about his body and how his body may develop. But skill-wise, with Chet, you can't argue his skill level. Level is there.
I agree. And I like Jabari a lot. I don't know if he's I don't know if any of them are NBA ready. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the I think the third guy, the Duke guy, might be the most NBA ready out of the three.
You know what? He comes across to me as a high floor, low ceiling guy. I gotta watch him some more. Like he has a high floor. I don't see a high ceiling with him, but I'm gonna. I haven't done a deep dive.
I agree with you. I think, but that's what I mean when I say NBA ready. Like he might come in and be who he is for the 10 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it might not be an all-star. It might, you know what I mean? It might just be a starter. It might just be a good role player. But I think he'll come in and be that immediately. I don't know.
That's what we thought about Obi.
That is true. That is true.
He thought about Obi.
That is true. I think there was still questions there. And you know what? I'm gonna end it on that. Let you get ready to set up. I'll be there shortly.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
Oh boy, I gotta get these links out too.
Shout out to the chat. Your Black is Time, Queen. I'll see you in a few.
All right.